Welcome. Welcome to everyone. In this beautiful moment, the passion to be better and accompany others to be better unite us. The passion for coaching brings us together in this ambition for learning cycle, expanding coaching, a view for the IAC regions. As the practice of coaching has expanded throughout the world, being considered today as one of the most important skills for an accompanying achievement of objectives and goals, both individually and in the organization. Actually, various coaching models may exist. Their basic methodology of talking, listening, ask, and accompany the coach or client in this choice. It is universal based and is valid in each region of the world. In this context, this morning, we will have the opportunity to hear the point of view of 6 amazing key players of the IAC. All of them volunteer members, where each one serves as regional coordinators and shape the Global Chapter Committee. For our regions, Africa, Latin America, Southwest Asia, India, North America, and the Greater China are regions that make up the IAC Global. We'll learn firsthand about the vision of the people who promote excellence coaching every day, how it relates to the culture and reality for each of them. I'm Vanessa Ramírez, IAC Master Practitioner and
Yo soy Vanessa Ramírez, Master Practitioner de la IAC de México, apasionada por el coaching y tengo el privilegio de compartir este espacio para ver los retos, las oportunidades y tendencias de esta nueva profesión con este nuevo Learning Circle.
Expanding coaching a view from the IAC regions.
Expandiendo el coaching, una perspectiva de las regiones de la IAC.
Let's start with Betsy Martinez.
Empecemos con Betsy Martínez.
Is a master practitioner, IAC board member and global chapter coordinator. Betsy is a specialist in positive psychology and cultural transformation, corporate coach, and business and conscious leadership. Betsy, please, to start this amazing talk, tell us what is happening in your region.
Gracias, Vanessa. Dame, por favor, unos minutos que estoy tratando de incorporar a CG, que acaba de llegar para nuestra traducción en chino, y a Charlie Martial, nuestra traducción en francés. Ambos, Charlie Martial, CG, bienvenido, ya estás en la traducción de inglés-chino. Muy bien, ahora sí, gracias por darme este espacio de atención de algunos problemas técnicos que tenía que atender primeramente. Y damos inicio a esta Learning Circle, como Vanessa bien claro lo decía. Bienvenida a las regiones de África, India, Norteamérica, Sudeste Asiático, Gran China e Iberoamérica, a este nuevo episodio del programa de Learning Circle Global. Para mí es un honor representar o presentarme con ustedes y dar paso a un equipo maravilloso de líderes globales de la IAC que hoy comparten sus realidades, sus desafíos y sus oportunidades en cada una de las regiones que lideran. Este es el Comité Global de Capítulos IAC, donde tengo el privilegio de ser una voluntaria de este gran equipo. ¿Qué estamos viendo como comunidad global que pertenecemos todos los apasionados y profesionales del coaching hoy día? ¿Cómo se ve desde las diferentes miradas las realidades en la expansión del coaching? Esta es dos de las preguntas que hoy queremos realmente hacernos junto a todos ustedes. En la IAC nos entusiasma creer en poder cumplir nuestra misión global, y esta es posibilitar un camino hacia el desarrollo responsable y profesional para coaches aspirantes, experimentados, pero también para otros campos profesionales que estén interesados en el dominio del coaching. Aspiramos a que esta profesión realmente sea valorada y que contribuya efectivamente a la evolución del potencial humano en todo el mundo. Y para eso existen los capítulos de la IAC en el mundo. Son nuestras embajadas que llevan adelante el cumplimiento de esta misión tan noble de la IAC, y que son liderados por un equipo local y regional comprometido. Yo creo, compañeros, que venimos de una humanidad de unos años llenos de incertidumbre, donde cada día se hace más necesario tejer nuevas conversaciones, expandir enfoques multiperspectivos y, sobre todo, liderar quizás nuevos escenarios con una mayor compasión humana. Si pudiéramos salirnos un momento, de un instante, de este mundo ruidoso y acelerado en el que estamos, y pudiéramos mirar desde afuera como espectadores, ¿qué verían tus ojos? ¿Qué realidades seríamos capaces de comprender? Y sobre todo, ¿qué oportunidades podríamos tener la habilidad de apreciar hoy día? Estas preguntas nos invitan, para mí, a una pregunta clave. ¿Cuál es el ahora y el mañana del coaching, y hacia dónde se expande todo su potencial transformador? Los valores éticos, los valores sociales, hoy día nos invitan a resignificar completamente lo que antes creíamos. Las adversidades incluso hoy día nos invitan a trabajar en colaboración, a hacer sinergias y a crear posiblemente nuevas comunidades en el coaching para abrir una puerta que dé paso a ese mejor futuro en las organizaciones, en las familias, en las personas. Y justo ahí hay un coach en alguna parte del planeta, y eso en lo personal me llena de gran esperanza para ver este ahora y para ver este mañana, porque ahí está la expansión del coaching, compañeros, haciendo surgir posibilidades, una conversación a la vez. Decía Thomas Leonard que movimiento no siempre es progreso en el cliente, pero de alguna forma es el movimiento que nos moviliza hacia adelante. Por eso celebremos hoy con orgullo este movimiento del coaching, porque en su expansión, como lo proponemos hoy, logramos construir juntos ese futuro en las regiones del mundo. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you so much, Betsy. What interesting is what you are saying in terms of what is happening and what is really the role of a coach with the client. In this sense, I would like to introduce you Niurka Arevalo. Niurka from Peru is a master practitioner from the IAC Ibero-American Region Coordinator. And you need to know that Niurka is a professional coach, a specialist in cultural transformation, creator and facilitator of female empowerment program for Latin America. Just this morning, Niurka was sharing with us that she is just to start a program to develop coaching with executives in an organization. Niurka, what is happening in your region? What you can tell us?
Gracias, Vanessa, por esta introducción. Me parece muy valioso que podamos empezar recordando el origen del coaching, ¿no? estamos remontando a la época de los estoicos, donde nos invitan a poder reflexionar sobre la forma en la que estamos conviviendo, de la forma en la que estamos expandiendo nuestro potencial, para luego sumergirnos a los 90, donde Thomas Leonard, de manera muy creativa, expande las maestrías y la forma en la que, no sé si por ahí está el sonido, bueno, y de una forma muy creativa, no sé si hay eco, a ver, no sé si me ayudan con los micrófonos.
Te escuchamos bien, Yurka.
Ah, perfecto. Muy bien. Entonces voy a nuevamente continuar. Es importante reconocer nuestra historia para poder situarnos y reconocer en dónde estamos en este momento, cómo hemos evolucionado durante estos 19 años que la IAC tiene presente, está presente en las diferentes regiones del mundo, y cómo esto impacta en el resultado de las personas que ejercen el coaching y toman un proceso como parte de su propia transformación. Es importante reconocerlo para poder ver ese desplazamiento, esa posibilidad que tenemos de estar inmersos en la mejora continua. El coaching tiene un gran impacto, yo voy a hablar por la región Iberoamérica. En la región Iberoamérica, en este momento, 13 países activos con un capítulo vigente, con la invitación a que más personas puedan sumarse a poder expandir conciencia, no solamente como parte de la responsabilidad social que ejerce como seres humanos, sino también como la posibilidad de desarrollar una mejora continua en la destreza de la conversación. Para ello me parece sumamente valioso la intervención de todos los países que vienen sumando esfuerzos, ¿no? Y hemos indagado, de hecho, a través de la región de Iberoamérica, en las fortalezas, la indagación tanto en el análisis interno como externo, aquellos roles que cumplen nuestros líderes de manera proactiva en cada una de las acciones que nos conectan con la responsabilidad social, que nos conectan con una nueva conciencia colectiva. Poder reimaginar las oportunidades a través de fortalecer los valores que promovemos, la visión y misión que nosotros tenemos de poder expandir el camino a la certificación para poder no solamente ejercer el coaching de una manera profesional y ética, sino también generar esa retroalimentación que genere valor en la práctica, para luego pasar a esas nuevas aspiraciones como una oportunidad de innovar desde nuestro metro cuadrado, de innovar en el impacto que tiene cada una de las actividades que ejercen los capítulos, en crear espacios de conversación de valor que permitan no solamente difundir la práctica del coaching, sino la oportunidad de poder llevar esos aprendizajes de cada uno de nuestros miembros y los conecte con la posibilidad de poder llegar a diferentes lugares de la región. Estas iniciativas estratégicas forman parte de la innovación interna de cada uno de los capítulos que de manera constante, de manera eficiente, logran generar actividades colaborativas que potencian su liderazgo. Y finalmente, en la parte de los resultados que estamos viendo en este momento, dentro de los capítulos, un crecimiento, pero no solamente a través de la expansión de la comunidad, sino un crecimiento personal de cada uno de los miembros que de manera coherente expone lo que ha aprendido, lo que ha tomado de referencia a través de este camino de transformación y lo pone al servicio de la humanidad. Me parece muy importante poder reconocer a cada uno de los líderes de Iberoamérica que está en este momento liderando sus capítulos a través de los comités, a través del voluntariado activo, proactivo, que evidencia que esta comunidad es una comunidad viva, que está viva en base a la colaboración, y es una colaboración que viene de un espíritu de voluntariado, es totalmente diferente a poder estar comprometido a través de una transacción. Entonces creo que es muy valioso poder reconocer cómo vamos nosotros expandiendo el potencial, no solamente de nuestros miembros a través de aprendizaje continuo. De hecho, tenemos programas que fortalecen la práctica del coaching, la práctica de las maestrías, sino también esta inspiración que nos permite, nuevamente les voy a repetir, conectarnos con la responsabilidad social. Si a nosotros ha llegado esta herramienta para transformar nuestra realidad, ayudarnos a desplazarnos y poder crear ese futuro que queremos ver, es muy importante que podamos difundir esta práctica de manera coherente y ética a través de nuestras acciones proactivas que permitan evidenciar que estamos logrando resultados, que estamos logrando no solamente resultados en nuestro camino de transformación, sino también estamos llevando a resultados a aquellas personas que mejoran su calidad de vida, que se conectan con el bienestar, aquellas organizaciones que están buscando reducir las brechas que en este momento quizás la pospandemia ha dejado, o en esa oportunidad de mejora continua, la posibilidad de poder crear nuevas realidades, y nuevamente lo repito, que nos conecten con una nueva conciencia colectiva, que nos conecten con la posibilidad. Y eso nos trae el coaching, eso es lo que nos puede generar un crecimiento sostenible a través de un cambio, de una apertura de conciencia. Tomo la frase de Einstein: ningún problema puede ser resuelto con el mismo nivel de conciencia, y eso es lo que nos trae el coaching, claridad para poder reducir la brecha de la situación actual a la situación deseada, y esto lo aplicamos dentro de cada uno de los países a través de las regiones de Iberoamérica, que no solamente buscan potenciar la práctica del coaching, sino también buscan seguir creciendo en este aprendizaje continuo que nos trae la IAC.
Niurka, thank you so much. What a wonderful way to summarize the 9 masteries that we have in this association, that we have with the IAC. Very interesting what you are saying about this Ibero-American region. To continue, let me introduce you to Charlie Marshall. Charlie is a master practitioner, coordinator for Africa region. Charlie has over 20 years of experience working with governments, local authorities, private companies, and non-governmental organizations. He's also an expert in public government, fiscal policies, data governance, and information system. A passionate leader and trainer, he is a civil society activist for sustainability, and he has a master's degree in science of management. Charlie, what you can tell us about what is happening in Africa?
I'm trying to share my video, and my slides, if someone can help, because it seems like it's not working. Okay, it's working now. Thanks.
Excellent.
Do you see that?
We can see you now, Charlie.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm Charlie Marcel Ngunu. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk of what is going on in Africa when it comes to the expansion of coaching. And I've designed the time you have given me into 3/4 slides that I want to that I break into challenges and opportunities and possibilities that we have in Africa for coaching. And I will start with challenges.
Charlie, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Charlie. ¿Podrías poner tu presentación en grande, por favor, para mirar bien tu slide?
Sorry?
If you can expand or put in a presentation mode, your slides, Charlie.
Like this?
If you go to the little screen in there, just there. Right, excellent. Thank you.
Is it working?
It's
Okay,
working
thank
now.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. So I will start with the challenges that we find in Africa when it comes to when we evaluate coaching, taking from the work that we have been doing previously before my membership with IAC, and now taking the experience of being the lead in Africa and trying to set up chapters in country and talking with people about IAC, about the coaching masteries, about membership, about also building chapters in countries where we don't yet have chapters. And what I see is that we have a very strong legacy of colonialism and patriarchy in Africa that lead us to be very directive in the way we the way we talk with people, in the way we parent when we do our parenting work, and in the way we lead people in our companies, in public administrations, or in families. We see this clearly, and this is a very serious challenge when we talk of coaching here. And also, we have this problem of informal economy in Africa. That is a very serious challenge, because most of the time people are working in informal way. It means they are not really set up in a formal way, and then you don't have a continuous improvement set up in companies, in businesses here. And as you see, we are very much informal in Africa, and then this brings the issue of poverty. That's a fundamental basic problem in Africa right now. And you can just talk of COVID-19, the pandemic that has added to this. And so we have been very seriously impacted. And if you add to this the lack of very good and sound governance that is transparent, accountable, and where citizens can really participate, it gives you also another cultural challenge that we face here in Africa. And that brings the issue of coaching and personal development being very much low-graded culturally because of this these few challenges that I just quoted. And also for Francophone Africa, as I live in a country that is Francophone in nature, and even though we have 2 over 10 regions in our country that speak English, the truth is that in Francophone Africa, coaching is not really very well known, for the fact that most organizations talking about coaching are Anglo-Saxon originally, and probably more they use more Spanish and some other languages than French language, and that's a very serious barrier here, as you might see that most material are in English and not in French. And so this brings a very serious challenge. That is a very serious barrier to the development of coaching in our context. And even in spite of those challenges, it's true that expanding coaching in Africa can build on so many opportunities that I found in the experience of working with coaches or with aspiring coaches in the course of building our IAC in Africa, or building chapters in countries, or trying to bring more members even in my country, Cameroon here, where I know so many coaches. And the thing is that the globalization of information and economy is a very great opportunity, because it exposes the continent to various kind of information, or maybe new type of competencies and expertise that we can really tap in. So we won't just won't just remain in what we already know. And I expressed it previously, talking of our challenges. The truth is that, the kind of connection, and Nyuka just talked about this, the connection, the networking economy that we are in now is actually bringing opportunities for the expansion of coaching. And also we have because of this globalization, we see clearly a growing urban middle class, but that will certainly face the kind of life challenges that middle classes face in so many countries already, in developed countries and in Western countries, as we know. And then this is also an opportunity for coaching to expand here, because middle class will certainly need, to be coached, to navigate the serious challenges, to navigate the risk that they will certainly face in an economy that is very much disruptive today. And we know that there is no certainty today, as we used to. because in Africa, as we have been blessed with so many natural resources and many natural advantages. You know, we are used to a kind of certain life, but we see clearly that today, because of economy, with the kind of economy we live in, we see clearly that we face very, very many uncertainties that will certainly bring coaching to be a solution, an answer in days, weeks, months, years to come. And also, we can talk of the opportunity of internet that is linked to the globalization of information, because internet and digital technologies give the opportunity for e-training, and that can really bring something that is global to a local space in a very cheap way, and also gives the opportunity for coaching. I recall when I started being passionate about coaching 20 years back, it wasn't even possible to go and do the certification exam that I had in Texas, in the US, not to talk of the spend that I was to pay, you know, to get this certification. And we see today that internet and digital technology can bring this home. And I think it's owing to this internet that we are here now in this learning circle opportunity. So this is a very serious opportunity for us, especially because in Africa, population is very young, and then they are very much attached to digital technology. So we need to think about how to use this opportunity, building probably online curriculum for teaching, for training, and then to push for this coaching, to push our coaching masteries, you know, everywhere in Africa. And I think this is possible given the fact that internet is very much spreading here. And also, so many international NGOs have taken the opportunity to add coaching to their interventions. I've seen this with the World Health Organization that is already increasingly adding coaching to its curricula. And I've also seen the French Development Agency adding coaching to its curricula. I've been part of one of the training sessions of the French Development Agency pushing for coaching in the international NGOs work. And also an opportunity is that Africa is already on the IAC map, since we already have a few chapters, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Mali, Gabon, even though I have to recognize that given the challenges that I talked about a few minutes ago, we are not really thriving. And it's very sad, and because I'm looking for the kind of solution that we might think about, you know, to make those chapters thrive. And so this is wonderful opportunity that Africa is already on the IAC map, and I would like to thank some of you, Betsy, and all the global team that are very supportive of the work that we do here in Africa, and taking into account the fact that we have so many challenges. And I think even a few minutes ago, I was even disconnected from the learning circle, showing you that even if we have internet, it's not a given here because we are still in low bandwidth here. And so, but in spite of those challenges that we can understand, so many things are promising. And this last slide speaks about the possibilities, and I've tried to provide few ones that I think are very interesting for us, and so that we can build at IAC Global our strategic coaching program that will target African training institutions so that they could move to be IAC accredited schools, but also using our own accredited schools, those who are already accredited, to push for this kind, so that they can be a kind of pair to those training institutions. And maybe, I didn't say it there, even our public institutions, trying to see how best we could connect IAC Global with public institutions, public administration schools, where we can really bring coaching masteries, because I will say we won't come to change any coaching curricula. That would be probably a breakthrough, because we don't yet have this kind of initiative here in Africa. And I would like to think of the IAC Joint Global Statement Group team on climate change. As you know, Africa is a key actor, player in when we talk of climate, not really climate change, but how we can use there's so many resources, the Congo Basin, as you know, that is like Amazonia there in Latin America. It shows clearly that Africa can play a very great role in this climate change issue. And IAC, being IAC GGISG team can be a great player, and this is also a way to see how best we could use our team with the joint statement to target Africa and to work in this space of changing, of pushing for social responsibility that Nuka just talked about. And I think this is a great possibility to also, and this is my proposal as an African living in Africa and probably facing the issue of, fees for certification. We have seen that, I've seen with so many of my counterparts here, countrymen, that once we talk of the fees of to become a member of IAC, I see automatically a kind of pushback for this. And then the next one is probably to use massive communication on social medias to build, to push for IAC narrative, IAC coaching masteries, so that to let it get well known. So I would like to insist on how best we could see if we could build in IAC a kind of special phase for developing countries and for least developing countries, and so that we could easily extend country chapters and probably build more memberships. So that's what I wanted to share with you when it comes to what we can do for Africa. And so let's make IAC coaching mastery a trend in Africa, and that will be my conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. What an amazing job and journey is in front of you in terms to position the coaching with all these challenges that you are actually facing in Africa. Thank you so much for your spirit and your enthusiasm. Thank you. Please, a couple of announcements before to continue. We lost our interpreter in Chinese. If someone wants to volunteer to be the translation, please just write us in the chat your email to make you the translator. And remind our speakers we have 8 minutes for each intervention. Thank you so much. So to continue, after Charlie, we introduce you Merrick Hong from Hong Kong. Merrick is a certified coach from the IAC, is a chapter leader in Hong Kong and regional coordinator for the Greater China. Merrick is a human resource professional with more than 5 years of experience in the specialty of recruitment and training. He defines himself as a career and strengths coach. As one of the vision disabled coaches from the IAC family, is passionate about providing training to young adults, parents, and some clients' business, including teachers and social workers. Merrick, we are yours.
So good day, everyone. I'm Merrick from Hong Kong and the regional coordinator of Greater China. So in fact, the Greater China region comprises of mainland China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. So historically, they are 3 very different places, though the ethnicity background is similar. We are classified as Chinese. I would like to share a few situations that I encounter, and I will discuss on what does this situation bring along to this topic, which is the challenges and opportunities of coaching, and no matter in IAC context or we all as professional coaches. So there are 5 chapters in mainland China in different provinces. So these coaches, they are very disciplined. I would say they're very disciplined chapters in a way that they practice frequently and they organize coaching trials among themselves. And that was a great way to attract new members. But a challenge, or I would say a situation for them, is coaching to mainland Chinese people. They are treated as a profession. So how professional you are, how credible your certification is, greatly affects how you are recognized in the market. So as you may know, IAC, some people think that they are less competitive in the business field. So these make coaches, IAC coaches in mainland China sometimes find it difficult to attract business. Only for those who have much experience or they have higher credentials, they got their businesses. I would say, in a way, this is a challenge for these people. On the other hand, it reminds us that coaching is always a profession. Coaching should always be backed up with knowledge and theories, though as IC coaches, we know that theory is not the only thing, but theory means something. So nowadays in mainland China, they are already applying for accredited schools, which is a good way to step forward to make IAC in mainland China look more professional. The second place I would highlight is the place I'm in, Hong Kong, the city of Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is having the longest history of coaching in the whole Greater China region. It started over 20 years ago, so longer than the history of IAC, in fact. In Hong Kong, coaching was brought by foreigners, by expatriates, first to executives who are placed in Hong Kong by the international headquarters. During these few years, coaching has been already planted in the hearts or in the mindsets of different people, including teachers, social workers, parents, and even young adults. So, in fact, in Hong Kong, our chapter is not very large. However, we had great international contributions, and we had a lot of social involvement. Say, for example, me, myself, as a visually impaired coach, I was benefited by one of the social involvement projects led by a very senior IAC coach. So from this story, I would tell the opportunity and challenge in a way. Although Hong Kong is a small place and we are not a very big chapter, but like I would borrow the quote from an IAC senior coach is that do build your team. Your team can be international team. Your team can be compiled with different professionals, although they are not coaches. And with a very diverse team, you can find your piece of land or the place you want to serve that you may not be imagined. Like what I just attended a seminar right before this section, one of the coach said, in fact, not really an IC coach, but another coach said, life coaching is an emerging coaching business in this city. It's because we already planted the seeds of benefits of coaching in different socio-economic classes of the city. And so in Taiwan, they don't really have a very long history of coaching. But what Taiwan is happening now, they are having a licensee. I'm not sure whether they have transferred to accredited school already, but a licensee with a very solid curriculum. They are training up new coaches. And the Taiwan chapter leadership team is a very young team. They are having a lot of community involvements, and even the chapter leader of Taiwan nowadays, he is exercising coaching in a business field, not a very traditional executive field, but rather sort of business more to daily life. I forgot it's F&B or retail anyway. What I would see the opportunity or the lesson we can learn from Taiwan is training up coaches is the foundation of everything. If you don't have a system, a course, a curriculum, or a school to train up coaches, doesn't make sense that you talk about everything, contribution or whatever, of development or whatever. So to summarize the discussion I made just now, 3 places in this region, they face different challenges. Some of them face the challenges of not being recognized. Some of them face the challenges of not enough people. However, if we are facing the way that we are providing as good training, good coaching training to the people around us, to the people who are interested in coaching, and at the same time, we are telling our stories to everyone around us and letting them be interested in coaching, I'm sure in the not only in the past 20 years, but in the later 20 years, 40 years, coaching will still be not only a prosperous business, but a very effective ways of changing lives in the region. So that will be all my sharing. Thank you.
Mary, thanks so much, because this point of view that you are now putting in the table, just please give me a second, to deactivate the translation, simultaneous translation. Thank you so much, Mary, because what you are bringing in this conversation, putting in the table, is really this fight that we have in the different regions to professionalize the coaching. I think with what you have said, that we have a lot to learn from your region, how to be more exigent in terms of the coaching, how we position it, not only, as you said, these credentials, more the experience, and how to grow the confidence in the different clients, different sectors, based on what the coach is able to do. Thank you so much to share what is happening. Totally aligned with this growth that we are seeing in the different regions in terms of coaching. Thank you. So let's continue with Leonardo Burlino. Leonardo is coming from USA, is master's practitioner, is chapter leader from USA and North America region coordinator. Leo has more than 34 years experience as business consultant in effective negotiation, organization, and process improvement. Is a mechanical engineer, MBA with a master's degree of theology, Six Sigma Green Belt professional, strategic change management specialist, and he is also the creator of the WISE Smart method and entrepreneurship. Leo, what a wonderful experience, more in organizations. What you can tell us with this experience about what is happening in the United States?
Muchas gracias, Vanessa. Voy a hacerlo en español. Es interesante que el coaching es una experiencia, un fenómeno joven, tiene menos de 50 años. Así que tiene toda la fuerza de la expansión y hay que tomar en cuenta que hay un antes y un después entre el 2019 y el 2022 gracias a la pandemia. También estoy de acuerdo con algo que planteó Niurka, de que para conocer la expansión hay que recordar cómo comenzó este fenómeno moderno del coaching. Y voy a comenzar con una pregunta. ¿Qué te viene a la mente cuando escuchas la palabra coach? Todos los que estamos acá somos coach o estamos muy interesados en el coaching. Entonces, ¿qué nos viene a la mente cuando escuchamos la palabra coach? La mayoría piensa en las sesiones profesionales, tanto personales como online, como de empresa. Pero esto siempre fue así. Voy a la segunda pregunta. ¿Qué era para ti un coach hace 20 años? Ok, perdón, acá necesito... ¿Qué era para ti un coach hace 20 años? Al menos para mí y me imagino que para los países centrados en deportes como el béisbol, esto es lo que venía a la mente hace 20 años. Un coach tiene que ver con los ayudantes del manager del equipo, era quien dirigía, quien decidía, quien decía qué hacer, qué no hacer. Eso es lo que, al menos aquí en Norteamérica, se tomaba en cuenta hace 20 años, hace 25 años. Y qué casualidad que el coaching moderno nace del deporte. Tenemos que nosotros pasamos de ver el coach como algo deportivo, algo que te dirigía, a algo moderno donde especialmente con el liderazgo de la IAC, acompañamos más que dirigir. ¿Ok? Veamos cómo nace este fenómeno. Nace a finales de los 60, tenemos a Tim Galway, que era capitán del equipo de tenis de Harvard, y investigando cómo ser mejor jugador, hace el método, expone en su libro en 1974, del juego interno del tenis, que posteriormente lo transforma al juego interno en el trabajo. Pero esto no lo hizo solo él. Tenemos a John Whitmore, también otro que dedicado al deporte en los años 60, un exitoso corredor de carros de carrera en los años 60. En los 70 comienza el coaching de desempeño, de performance. Y es ahí como define el coaching como liberar el potencial de una persona para maximizar su propio desempeño. Y este es el concepto más novedoso del cambio de la mentalidad del coaching. El coaching es ayudarlos a aprender en lugar de enseñarles. Ven cómo cambiamos de un coaching deportivo en que el coach decidía y dirigía a un coaching de hacer que la gente descubra y plantee su potencial. Justamente John Whitmore y Tim Galway, de hecho Whitmore llama a Galway cuando ve el libro del juego interno del tenis, y desarrollan el método GROW, que se utiliza principalmente en el coaching ejecutivo y organizacional, pero que se puede utilizar prácticamente en cualquier ámbito de la vida. Esto es el comienzo. Estamos hablando ya aquí, estamos a finales de los años 70, comienzo de los 80. Y la expansión requiere algunos números. Tenemos que a finales de los 80 aparece Thomas Leonard y transforma esto que de deportivo había pasado a ser de trabajo, había pasado a ser de organización, había pasado a ser ejecutivo, y lo lleva a todos los ámbitos de la vida, convirtiendo el coaching moderno en life coaching. ¿Ok? Justamente funda Thomas Leonard, que funda la IAC, en la que estamos, pienso que la mayoría de los que estamos presentes acá, no solamente los presentadores, sino también el público. Y con Thomas Leonard entramos al siglo XXI. ¿Qué ha cambiado? Lo primero que cambió es que hay diferentes tipos de coaching. Está el coaching de desempeño, está el coaching de negocios, está el life coaching, el del coaching de vida, está el coaching ontológico, muy famoso y muy usado especialmente en Sudamérica. Está el coaching de carrera. Fíjense, hasta tenemos coaching para enamorar. Quiere decir que el coaching, esto es lo que muestra la principal, sin números, la expansión del coaching, los diferentes tipos de coaching. Tenemos incluso neurocoaching también. Tenemos coaching psicológico. Tenemos, cada día salen más cosas. Tenemos family coaching, tenemos coaching para mujeres, tenemos coaching para adolescentes, tenemos de todo, porque todos necesitamos visualizar, entrar en conciencia de dónde estamos y ver hacia dónde queremos ir y cómo lograr eso. Pero ya no necesitamos que nos lo digan, necesitamos que nos ayuden a verlo, porque así como cuando criamos a los hijos, no para que nosotros los cuidemos hasta que nos muramos, sino para que una vez que termine la adolescencia se expandan, así necesita la gente, los ejecutivos, todas las personas necesitan esa expansión. Vamos a ver los números. En el año 2022, el coaching en Norteamérica representaba un negocio de 1.3 billones de dólares. 1.3, o sea que billón significa 1.000 millones en este caso de dólares. Tenemos que globalmente representa casi 3 billones y con un incremento del 21% desde el 2015. Estamos hablando de menos de 7 años y ha aumentado el 21%, incluyendo a pesar o gracias a la pandemia. Ya veremos. En Norteamérica tenemos que el 75% de los coaches son mujeres. En el 2015 eran 73%. Fíjate qué oportunidad. Es como para ver en qué sucede, que hay más mujeres que hombres. El 53% son baby boomers, bien, como yo. 39% son de la generación X, nacidos en los 80, 70 y pico 80, y el 5% son millennials, que me imagino que irán aumentando. Entre 2015 y 2019, los coaches profesionales aumentaron en 33%. Fíjense algo, los clientes, 37% son gente entre 35 y 44 años, 30% entre 45 y 54 y 24% por debajo de 35%. Eso es en 2022. Los hombres generalmente tenemos más tendencia hacia el coaching de negocios, 74% contra 61% de las mujeres. Ya me pasé del tiempo, pero ya estoy terminando. Y 85% ya están acreditados por alguna organización profesional contra 4% de 2015. Aquí es donde también interviene la IAC para invitar, y las escuelas especialmente invitan a los coaches que pertenezcan a una organización que los respalde. Debido al COVID, las plataformas audiovisuales se incrementaron el 74% y 55% dicen que ya no se regresará al sistema prepandemia. Y casi en la mitad han sentido que se le ha reducido los ingresos. 81% de los coaches, esta es la buena noticia, adquieren clientes a través del mercadeo boca a boca. Es decir, si haces bien tu trabajo, eso se va a saber y eso va a expandir. Esa es la expansión del coaching, boca a boca. Y con esto concluyo. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much, Leo. What interesting what you are saying in terms of the business point of view, what is happening in the region. Very young as the population that is now in USA living this profession, and what possibility, what a big possibility we have to expand the coaching in that country. Thank you so much. To continue, let me now introduce Saurabh Mohanty. Saurabh, hopefully I'm pronouncing relatively well. He is a master's practitioner, coordinator for India region. Saurabh is a leadership coach and management consultant with more than 29 years of experience. He specialized in preparing leaders for tomorrow. His blended learning model has been a great success with its corporate clients across all industries, cultures, and geographies. He put his experience to create his Saurabh coaching model, which he uses extensively to coach his clients. Saurabh, what you can tell us about India and what is happening in terms of coaching there?
Hi, good evening from India. This is Saurabh. Thank you for this great opportunity to share our thoughts from this part of the world, which is very interesting, which has had a very long tradition of coaching, because India, the way or method of passing information, education, has been primarily verbal for ages now. Now that is something which is very, very strong, very powerful, continues to be a medium even today. People like to talk, chat up, learn in a very informal setup, as opposed to going to a classroom and learning in a very formal, corporate kind of an environment. But having said that, we are in a very interesting moment of the coaching industry in India. Let me share a couple of points as to what I would like to present from Indian perspective. Now, I agree with many of the points. Even we are in a kind of a situation where we have some areas which are very well connected with internet. People are using the internet to access all kinds of platforms to enhance their continuity of education, be it formal or informal. People are connected very well to continue their meetings, to continue their business practices, and also into coaching. We also have this model where people are very comfortable through online coaching. At the same time, there are other pockets where it may not be so prevalent. Like Charlie was mentioning, we also have some areas where we could get into, but it still is challenged by the kind of connectivity that we have. So that's one aspect of it. Then I also would agree to the way we see coaching moving up, but on very, very special areas. Indians love to get into a coaching situation when it comes to sports and when it comes to education. So when I say education, I'm talking about the formal school and college education, where children are trained or educated or coached to do well in their professional careers, in studies, and therefore pick up better grades and better certificates as they go along. But when it comes to coaching, the way we do and the way we understand, it's a very peculiar story. Let me just share my slide, if that may help all of us. A very, very short presentation, just to share my perspective on this. Right? Is that visible?
Almost. Now.
Okay, thank you so much. So when we talk about coaching in India region, there are some interesting points I'd like to share as opportunities, some challenges, and what is that we, on behalf of IAC, are doing to make sure that it reaches to multiple people. So let me show you what the opportunities are. All of you are aware India is a huge country, no talking about that. You know, we have a great population. We have people who are willing to learn, willing to invest, and willing to go ahead in their lives. Our primary mode of learning has been, hand-me-down from our previous generation to the next and the next. That's how it has gone on various aspects. And when we talk about coaching, there's one interesting aspect where everybody, almost everybody that you meet has been doing some form of coaching or the other. Like people in India who stay in joint families have their parents, grandparents, uncles and aunts who have coached them on how to build a successful career, how to build a successful business, and even how to have a successful life. It's a given. You just have to look around and you have people who are willing to, be offering you that kind of nuggets of wisdom, experience, and expertise so that you do well in life. So we don't really, kind of see that as a formal coaching. But when it comes to formal coaching, people have a different kind of reaction. Point number 2, yes, we are highly aspirational. I mean, the Indians here are very, very aspirational when it comes to staying ahead. People are very competitive. They'd like to do well, whether it is sports or academics, or it is corporate careers or business. In fact, we have more than 100 plus unicorns. People have started setting up businesses. The younger generation is willing to take higher risk, willing to experiment and move away from a steady 9-to-5 job and start up a business which can, get them higher growth in shorter time. So we've seen a great boost in that. And no wonder we have got about 100 plus companies which are valued at least $1 billion USD in terms of the valuation. So if you look at that kind of a speed at which people are growing, it's again a very interesting situation because people want to grow, people are willing to grow, but they may not have a desired time to invest in learning. When I speak to these young people saying, would you like to look at coaching as an opportunity? Many of them have said, Saurav, we would love to, but we don't have the time for that. So that brings in a very peculiar situation. What comes first? Whether we need to coach them and therefore they grow into successful ventures, or do they become successful first, which is their prime hunger, and then look at coaching to consolidate and kind of come together in terms of their success stories. So everybody is running, everybody is on a fast track. The only people who seem to be looking at, coaching or investing money in coaching today are what we call the corporate houses or the corporate clients in a B2B environment. Now, when bigger companies are willing to invest in shaping their future leaders, in creating a succession plan, in trying to see what can be done to sustain their organization, given the kind of dynamics we have in the recent times and the kind of way the economy is growing or not growing, the way the business structures are, the way people are looking at new ways of driving business, there's a lot of investment that is happening in shaping the future leaders, which is what I keep saying, these are the leaders of tomorrow. However, the connect again is that they're willing to look at an organization which can provide them with a pool of coaches, which is willing to take the responsibility end to end to make sure that the coaching process is done correctly, has a very, very important and meaningful significance to the people who go through it and be able to deliver what is promised. So as an opportunity, it's huge that way. It is aspirational. Therefore, we see some people picking up. In fact, entrepreneurs could be the new pockets that we can talk to when it comes to coaching. Many have responded. Some are doing it slowly, and some will in the future as well. And the best way to do is to bank on the companies, the corporate houses, so that you get a business in. But when it comes to the challenges, there's some interesting ways that we face the coaching situation in India. One is the culture itself. Like I said, people have a good access to the seniors, the elders, and anyone who's been in this role before. So they get almost, free nuggets of wisdom on that. Therefore, when it comes to coaching, the first point they ask is, if I have an access to somebody who knows how to run a business, do I really need to go to you? Do I really need to go to a professional coach? That's one. The second aspect in terms of the culture is that people often see coaching as a remedy or a cure to something which may not be right in them. So when we talk to people who say, would you like to go for coaching? The question they ask is, why? What's wrong with me? Is something wrong with me? I don't need coaching that way. I'm fine. I'm doing good. I've got promotions. I've got good hikes. I'm doing very well. I'm respected already. Why would I need further coaching? And even if they are ready to do it, the next challenge that we face are the costs. Who's going to pay and how much? Is the company going to pay? Is the employer going to pay, or am I going to pay? And how much am I willing to pay? How much are you going to charge me? Is the next question which comes in, even sometimes before the coaching need has been established. So that is very often a kind of a situation which puts us back, and many people find it too expensive to be engaging a coach. Now look at the other side that we talked about. We talked about Leo just shared this, that sports is a big platform when it comes to coaching. In India, people are willing to invest a lot when it comes to coaching for education, for competitive exams, for preparation to going into higher universities, for higher education. People are willing to spend money on sports coaching. They're willing to send their children, or the young people are willing to go when it comes to learning something about cricket, about soccer, about chess, about gymnastics, about hockey and whatnot. But when it comes to executive coaching or leadership coaching, there's a little bit of a drop. And people believe that it's something which, if the employer invests, then it's fair because it's a need of the employer to see us grow. But if it is an investment from their own pockets, then there's a little bit of a hesitation, right? And the third challenge that we see is that there are too many players in this segment. There are too many coaches. When I say too many coaches, I don't have a count. I don't have the fixed numbers, but they are people who claim to be coaches with or without credentials, with or without certification. And sometimes the areas that we talk about, like Leo was mentioning, there are too many areas that people claim to be coaching others on, right? So when it comes to coaching as a practice, it's unorganized, which we don't have any one body which regulates, or we don't have multiple bodies which offer a common platform or even understanding of this business to the possible clients or even coaches. It just brings me to a very interesting story that we were talking about way back in 2013 when we had hosted the International Coaching Conference in India in Bangalore. We had the good fortune of having Sir John Whitmore as our chief guest. And when we were sharing a point with him, one of the questions he asked was, do coaches also need coaching? That's a very powerful question. And when it comes to that, we as coaches, how open are we to get coached on how to coach? Yes, we have IAC and other bodies which offer a process. We get certified, we learn, we practice, and we follow, or we renew our certifications every time we want to stay in this business. But there are many people who may not have that. And that's interesting when it comes to the coaching business, because coaches by themselves are too organized. So when we try to answer that question saying, do coaches also need coaching, or do coaches also need coaches? It becomes a chicken and egg story. So should the coaches organize and keep their house in order first, or should we look at the client side and the coaching side to have them look at coaching in a positive manner? So each one tries to blame the other. When the coaches say, oh, coaches are not ready, the clients are not ready, they are not willing to look at us coaches in a positive manner. Many times the clients come back and say, we don't even know what you guys are certified on. We don't even know what you guys are going to offer to us, except claiming that you are a coach. So there is a little bit of a confusion there, and that needs to be sorted out at the earliest. So when I speak to my fellow coaches in India, and the way we approach our clients for business, or we talk to coaches, this is a typical situation we get. And very often, because of this gap, even the first point of contact with possible clients starts with this question. So, are you a certified coach? Who has certified you? And what can you promise us if you take up this coaching assignment? So these are some of the questions which, are coming up off and on when we meet the business part here in India. So when we look at what is it that in India we have picked up as a strategy, and this is something which we've had a series of discussions. When I joined IAC family way back in 2011, I've had the good chance of working with many of the stalwarts in the coaching industry in India and from abroad. And we've tried to see what is it that will make India a very, very nice place to get coaching in. We realize that it is picking up, but slowly. We realize that people are looking forward to getting coached, but they have their own filters to screen us, test us, and also see if that is a value for money proposition. We also have people who are accepting unless and until it's something which is not a big requirement in terms of time, effort, and energy. So is it a cost or is it an investment is a big question in the minds of the coaches. But things are changing slowly. But what we need to do and what we are constantly doing is we are trying to create higher levels of awareness of coaching, of IAC. That's our endeavor right now. The second point is coach availability, where and how to reach. And one of the easiest ways to say is go to the internet, go to the IAC website, and you'll get a list of coaches. But that's not an easy solution. People need to know that there are genuine coaches available who can make a difference to their lives and their careers. Which brings me to the third point, which is if at all we get an opportunity to do some kind of coaching, it's up to us as coaches to be able to leave the client with a very, very wonderful and meaningful experience, something which the client is going to benefit and be very positive about. So he or she can go around and spread the word of mouth to share with other people that here are coaches who can make a difference. Here is IAC, which does believe in making a difference and will continue to do so. So, in our meetings that we have, this is right now the need of the hour to create higher levels of awareness, to make sure that we are available and visible as coaches, and also to make sure that if we get whatever that is as an experience, to make it more meaningful for the clients as such. And that has paid off very well. Personally, I can say in my last almost 20 years in this journey, especially in the last 10 years, in spite of the COVID experience, we've had very, very interesting experiences where people have valued experience and have been referring all that to their, to their businesses, have been recommending to their other folks and leaders to carry this on. So in all, in a summary, I would say, yes, it's an opportunity. It's a huge land. We've got lots of people who are aspiring to do it. If you take the, the more than 50% of the population, almost close to 70%, is where you have the millennials and the Generation Z population who are willing to learn and experiment and grow and take that risk. So it's an opportunity. As coaches, we are also putting our best foot forward to make sure that this opportunity comes our way. We have to ensure that business flows back. So more and more coaches get excited to do the certification and move it ahead. But what is also interesting is that we need to put it into a collective force where we put our steps together to make sure IAC is more visible, to make sure we are more available, and make sure that they get a value for money experience. And that will make India a more exciting center to be contributing to the coaching business. Thank you.
Sarah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Personally, thanks, because you brought me in a very happy moment in my career when I had the opportunity to work with Indian people. And in fact, as you said, it's a possibility, but what you are facing is the possibility to transform cultural way to think. Indian people, as you mentioned, it is very, have very deeply incorporated the fact to help others. So I can imagine the challenge to see, okay, let's help with a structure. Let's help with masteries. Let's help with an organized mindset to do it. So what you are saying is really the challenge, but the challenge to transform the way the culture is providing coaching. Thank you so much, Sarah.
My pleasure.
Very
Thank you all.
interesting. And finally, Kayan Aung from Malaysia. Let me introduce him. He is a master's practitioner, coordinator for Sudeste Asia region. And Kian is a real estate agent registered in practice in Malaysia. His passion and contribution raised him as one of the most standout coaches and trainers in the industry. In addition to that, he is also involved in numerous activities of non-governmental organizations. Kian, what is happening in terms of coaching in Malaysia?
Hi, good day to everyone. Thank you, Vanessa, for the introduction. The good thing about speaking last is I don't have to cover a lot because it has been covered by a lot of the previous speakers, or I can go on and speak forever, right? But I will try to keep this short within the 8 minutes. As you know, I'm in the region of Southeast Asia. And what happened is it's good that we've seen a lot of speakers sharing a different perspective. And in Southeast Asia, we are a small region, but we have a huge population, about 700 million people with 11 countries. But the thing is, we are very similar, like Charlie and Nurka, where we have a big region, but we are very decentralized with a lot of countries. Unlike Leo, Merrick, and Saraf, we have a huge market, but it's very centralized. So we don't really have a lot of statistics to share, and we don't have a lot of common things to share. But what I want to share here is the situation, what are the challenges, what are the opportunities, and what is the current reality that we are facing at this moment in this region. Allow me to share a little bit of, just give me a minute, I'll just open up the template. Yep. Right. Okay. Can you see my slide? Yep. Oh, good. All right. I'll go straight to the point. Okay. Let us talk about some of the challenges that we face, especially in this region, where coaching is still very much in the infant stage, and unlike a lot of countries in other part of the world, coaching is very much being embraced and very much being understood. But in this region, I believe it started off with many other countries as well, whereby coaching lacked a lot of lack of awareness in the region and lack of understanding of coaching. And the coaching culture is not very much embraced in this region, and because probably like Charlie and Saraf mentioned, probably the cost of coaching is quite high, and there are a lot of misconception of coaching as well. A lot of us in this region do not understand the role of a coach compared to a trainer, a mentor, or consultant, things like that. So they don't see a difference, or they don't see a value in the coach. And of course, because of this lack of awareness and lack of culture, there are shortage of quality coaches with passion. We have coaches, but they might not have the passion to actually coach people. And a lot of misconception in coaching is that it requires a lot of time and resources. Could be resources in terms of human resources, also capital resources. In terms of that. And because of the evolution of technology and way we communicate, especially when COVID hit the global economy, things change, priorities change, the way we do business, the way we communicate change. And every day we see new ways of delivering things, new ways of doing things. So that could also give us some challenge in this coaching industry. So these are some typical challenges that we face in this region. Now, after saying that, what is the reality in this region? Like I said, coaching is still a very niche industry in this part of the world. That is why coaching is relatively a niche market. It's been seen as a specialty profession, right? It's not. There are not many coaches in this area. Of course, in reality, again, because of the misunderstanding, there are a lot of mismatch in terms of delivery of the coaching and also the expectation of the coachee, right? And of course, because again, the industry is still in the infant stage, we do have a lot of restriction in the resources, methodology, probably due to a lack of coaches, things like that. And because of this, the coaching business, we talk about commercially, it's difficult to scale. The scalability is difficult in this region because we don't have the economy of scales. That could pose, that's the reason maybe why people are not interested in coaching business, because the lack of scalability. And of course, the reality now is understanding of the coaching, training and mentoring. People have a different understanding of it. And of course, in terms of the relationship between the coach and coachee in this region, there are still lack of trust and a certain privacy among the clients and the coach. So that could also pose some challenges as well. And of course, coaches in this region, lack of recognition, and also in certain extent, lack of professionalism because of the industry that is not mature enough. And coaches are not seen like doctors or lawyers or accountants. We wish, right, the coaches can be seen as a professional, where we are being seen like a doctor, a lawyer with high integrity, things like that. So the reality in this region is this, right? I'm not sure whether other regions will face the similar issues, but this is what we observe in this region. Now, after saying that, of course, there are plenty of opportunities in that, right? Because of the reality or the challenges, I think there are plenty of opportunities in this region. The good thing is because coaching is still new and is still in the infant stage, it gives us the opportunity to create the value and differentiate coaching by setting our own standard. Right? We make some certain expectation of standard. IAC platform. Right? Like I said, there are not many certification bodies in this region. I think IAC platform is a wonderful full platform for coaches who are looking for resources. Like I said, we are lack of resources, lack of methodology. I think IAC being present in this region give the coaches opportunities to access to new methodology, new resources, and being the certification body, of course, this gives us the recognition as well as an international IAC branding as a global brand, where we can leverage on all the people in this room from various countries to be seen as a global brand and gives us the recognition internationally. Right? Again, opportunity in this region because it's an infant stage. There are plenty of development to go, plenty of new space to go into. Other opportunities In Malaysia, especially where I'm currently in, we have a lot of government support and subsidies to embrace coaching culture. So there is another area of opportunities that we can take advantage from, certain grant or subsidies from the government. Huge potential market space, leveraging out and reach out. Meaning to say we leverage on each other here from the South American, from the US, Europe, Africa, China, and other parts of the world. We leverage on each other. We share experiences, getting new methods of coaching, bringing into this region. And because of, I think a lot of our speakers has mentioned about internet, social media. I think from there, it actually gives us the borderless coaching community. Now, what is happening now? Before this, we couldn't even, it's difficult for us to reach out, to communicate is expensive. There's no Zoom, there's no social media, but now with this, what is happening, globalization makes coaching easier and the bigger community. And a lot of, we say that the coaching now becomes borderless. Someone in US can coach someone in US, someone in Australia can coach someone in Africa, and vice versa. And I think the greatest opportunity is evolution of learning, especially in this region. People are moving into a different stage of economy. I think a lot of you speakers have mentioned that people are talking about gig economies, people going into entrepreneurships. Everybody wants to be their own bosses. They are sick of being employed. I think the future of coaching is there, and we, all of us here as coach, play an important role to the coaching community, and all of us here, because of the borderless community, globalization, all of us play a role, and all of us here represent the coaching community, and hopefully with this globalization, we can contribute to the betterment of the community. So that's what I would like to share my part. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much to remind us how much similarities we have in terms of strengths and opportunities between the different regions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry, something happened with the sound. Thank you so much, Kayan. To finalize this learning cycle, I would like to thank to all our speakers and this beautiful worldwide view that we have at the end of this conversation. And I would like to switch to my Spanish natural language para garantizar que mi mensaje llega en términos de cierre. Vaya momento histórico complejo que vivimos, que vive la profesión del coaching, como una profesión nueva que se está expandiendo y que tiene un enorme potencial para conectar en el mundo, entre regiones, para poder ayudar a las personas a través del método justamente que es proponernos para que el otro logre sus objetivos. En este momento pospandémico, cuán importante es para todos, y es lo que escucho de manera común en las regiones, profesionalizar esta profesión, profesionalizar el ejercicio del coaching, encontrar y tener claros nuestros puntos de encuentro, cómo sumamos, cómo podemos no solo y antes de expandirnos, trabajar para que el coaching se entienda alrededor del mundo y se profesionalice. Es igual de importante entender qué sí es y qué no es, cómo garantizar que todos aquellos que profesen esta profesión, que hagan del coaching un método de vida, de carrera, de negocio, se distingan ante la competencia que hoy está presente. Hace poco leía y hay más de 90 corrientes diferentes de coaching ya identificadas. Algunas que personalmente me sorprende porque en mi manera de pensar yo diría eso claramente no es coaching, pero que hoy forma parte de esta competencia y de este desafío que tenemos justamente de distinguirnos. Y esa es la maravilla que tiene la IAC a través de estas 9 maestrías y a través, lo siento desde el alma, en este camino a la certificación, porque no es lo mismo querer ayudar a alguien que ayudarlo con estructura. No es lo mismo tener el espíritu de querer contribuirle a alguien y estar con él que regirte por un código de ética que te dicta claramente qué sí se puede hacer y qué no se puede hacer. Dimos una revisión global y un vistazo alrededor del mundo a través de todas nuestras regiones de forma increíble. Betsy, que nos habla desde la incertidumbre y cómo a través de estas nuevas conversaciones podemos crear comunidad, espacios de conexión y poder llegar a más gente. Niurka, que nos habla y nos habló justamente de la importancia de interconectar entre las regiones, que vemos dónde estamos y hacia dónde vamos. No olvidar de dónde venimos para tener muy claro cómo contribuimos. Charlie, cómo llevar este coaching de excelencia y expandirlo como una visión donde las condiciones no son las mejores, pero a través de tu mensaje, Charlie, yo me quedo súper inspirada porque si bien no es fácil, sí es posible. Con Merrick, esta necesidad de profesionalizar justamente la profesión, lo que hacemos de regirnos, de poder medir este actuar que tienen y tenemos los coaches como un desafío también, pero como una responsabilidad ante la gente con la que estamos interactuando. Leo, inspirador en esta fuerza de la expansión, cómo ayudamos a aprender, cómo nos llevas desde el inicio en este coaching y cómo este inicio se ha expandido ahora a una forma de pensar en las organizaciones. Cómo, y no importa las diferentes versiones del coaching que existan, es la misma visión y es todo acerca de la gente. Saurabh, muchísimas gracias también que nos recuerdas a través del deporte y de la educación, cómo tu cultura lo tiene tan incorporado que ya es una forma natural de hacer las cosas, contribuir, hacer, ayudar al otro, entregarte al otro para que sea mejor. Y nos recuerdas pues este desafío del coaching que forma parte de todos los que estamos aquí en la IAC, que es formalizar el proceso de trabajo con otros y de crear esta estructura con el reto que eso implica culturalmente hablando. ¿Por qué invertir, tú decías, en un coaching? Y eso nos enfrentamos todos los días a la pregunta con los clientes. Y Kian, claramente nos recuerdas pues cuántas coincidencias tenemos entre países, las fortalezas, las oportunidades. Agradezco muchísimo esta característica en tu presentación para decir que sí tenemos dónde están las oportunidades que podemos aprovechar y cuáles son estas amenazas o riesgos que tenemos y debemos mantener en control durante la expansión del coaching. En resumen, tenemos una realidad que nos necesita, una realidad que necesita un coaching profesional, ejecutivo, con enormes oportunidades en el mercado en todas las regiones que tenemos. Tenemos el respaldo absoluto de la IAC, que a través de estas maestrías, de este camino a la certificación, nos brinda de herramientas que no solo le dan valor al coach en su actuar, en su carrera, en su portafolio de herramientas y cómo distinguirse ante la competencia, sino que además le da a nuestro público, a nuestros clientes, a nuestros coaches, pues esta seguridad de la asociación y del estándar que está detrás y que profesionaliza el coaching. A todos ustedes, muchísimas gracias por habernos acompañado. Iniciamos un día con mucha inspiración. Recordarles que la IAC está a la vuelta de un correo electrónico, de visitar la página, de convertirse en este lugar de encuentro donde tu talento puede sumar al talento de los demás. A todos ustedes, muchísimas gracias.
Vanessa, la foto nos falta.
Por supuesto, Betsy, gracias. Yo súper inspirada. Por favor, ayúdenme todos los que puedan prendiendo su cámara. Nos ayudará por acá Julio. Julio, muchísimas gracias y felicidades por todo tu trabajo detrás de bambalinas para que este Learning Cycle pudiera vivirse. Y a la cuenta de 3 tomamos la foto, ¿les parece? Ayúdenme prendiendo sus cámaras todos. Excelente. 1, 2, 3.
Son dos pantallas.
Muy bien. Volvemos a contar. Gracias, Betsy. 1, 2, 3. Muy bien.
Vanessa, muchas gracias. Excelente trabajo por tu moderación. Y
A todos, muchísimas gracias.
gran resumen que nos hiciste.
Querido Julio, gracias. Buen día a todos. Hasta luego.
The International Association of Coaching. Home of the Coaching Masteries.